Ready?
Hello and welcome to Rhythm and Pixels, a video game music podcast. This is episode 30-7, and we're your hosts. My name is Rob Nichols.
And I'm Pernell.
And every week we listen to great video game music from all consoles and all generations. We find a topic and we play some music. This past weekend, I got to the end of Persona 5. Like, officially.
Nope.
I'm there. I'm right there.
He's near it.
I'm near
it.
So, like, I'm there and I'm getting my butt handed to me by these monsters, and I'm like, I better take my time and like try to figure out my roster of my own monsters to get the right click, to get the right... I need the right magic abilities because I cannot get through. I had 2 game overs.
Yeah, 2 game overs.
Yeah.
For the same guy?
Yeah, I went through it, and about 2 hours later, I had a game over, back to the beginning. About an hour into it, got a game over. I threw the controller and said, okay, maybe next time.
I honestly believe you threw the controller.
Yeah, so, and then I went through and I was like, okay, let me just see if I can fix up my guys. Maybe I didn't spend enough time. It's been in the past when I've had trouble with a game, it's because I didn't do enough fusions.
That's true.
Yeah, and so I did that, and now I'm thinking maybe I can grind, but like all I have to do is one evening, and I can do it all in one shot.
But it won't be all one evening. Maybe 2, if you don't have any issues like you're having right now. Because you've got some guys that I'm not telling you why or what happens, because there's still like maybe 1 or 2 big story bits that hit before the end.
I read ahead to be like, okay, are there other places to save? I mean, and there's 2 safe rooms. After the second safe room, it's the point of no return.
There's 2 safe rooms in the bottom of Mementos?
Yes, there's 2 safe rooms in the bottom of Mementos. After the second one's the point of no return. You can leave Mementos entirely, but you can only go to the clinic and to the airsoft shop.
Yeah, because of story reasons.
And thank God I looked this up because you can't.
Your social links are over.
Social links are over. You can't progress any more days. But if you talk to the jailers in the Velvet Room, they re-up all of your health and magic.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
I didn't know that. That changes everything.
I did not know that. I powered through.
So if I get to a safe point, I can always back up and do it because I was having real trouble. I was real trouble.
This is with the SP bandage thing?
Yeah, they only give you so much. So if I start to run low on magic, then that fighter is relegated to using items and physical attacks until he's built back up again.
And that'd be a rough shot. I'm trying to remember.
Well, you know what? I didn't take my. I didn't get the doctor's link all the way up.
You don't have to max it out to get those bandages. Just like 7.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh, good. So then I have the highest one. I thought maybe
bandage 3.
Okay, that's what I have. I thought maybe it got better the more I played.
No, because unfortunately, it stays 5.
The only social link that I got to 10 was Morgana because it's part of the story.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. I thought the homeroom teacher I got to 9, and I don't think I was going to finish that because that was a little too strange. And not strange. It was a little too like, come on, anime.
You're probably like, what's Pernell looking at right now? But I was trying to confirm it's something I feel like I remember doing at some point.
Reading about, Joker and homeroom teacher fanfic.
No, not on the air. Come on. But no, I was just trying to confirm if you could use energy drain in that game, which I'm positive I could have. I would have had it on something, even if I didn't ultimately like it long term.
You gave me the game changer was that the data or the brain drain, which is the brainwash attack they do, is physical, and I can block physical with a wall.
Yep.
So boom, because I know I had that skill for Joker and I had that skill for Haru, so they're on the front lines.
Oh, so you already have people that have the ability just naturally learned.
Oh, only one. Yeah. She has all that stuff.
Oh yeah, there you go.
I never fight with her. So.
Oh yeah, that's what. Honestly, I don't think I use Haru that much either, because by that point in the game, Joker did everything. Like he was a Swiss Army knife, and it was like, okay, these guys are just meant to carry the torch so it can get back to him.
Yeah,
so he can do more stuff.
At one point, what was happening was these enemies would come and brainwash my guys. That I can't believe we're talking about this so much on the show again. But Joker was the only one who could fight it because he has the origami persona Shikioji.
Yes, I was wondering. I was like, you better have him.
So the only strategy I had was to let everybody die, and so that he could just do physical attacks for as long as possible, which was fine. But when I went up against 4 of those things, the fight took 4 times as long. And I'm like, I can't do this. Then the fight's over. I heal everybody back up again. I hope no one's behind me. Let's keep going. Because if I get surprised, it's over.
It's interesting to hear people talk about these games like that because, like, we have a listener on the show
hard.
that
and,
is.
I gotta say, up to this point, it's been cake. It's been like super simple. The last run of Shido's Palace, simple, super easy. The last run of Mementos, which I did, there was nothing. If I surprised the personas, I was automatically grabbing them. Like it was stupid, and then I get here and like I'm just getting bodied. It's just awful.
He's like, this is the final or the second to last final.
I knew this would happen. I'll start playing again. I'll get interested. I will finish the game before the end of the year. Is my Summer Games Challenge.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah,
I'm gonna hold you to it again.
I have some time off. I have to take days off. I have like over a week to take off before the end of the year, so I'm gonna finish it.
But I'm gonna hold you to it. If I come over here, you're like, I was going to, but then we started doing some home renovations work instead. I'm like, I gotcha.
Look, I had to go to IKEA today. I woke up and I thought,
no, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. It's totally understandable, but once the declaration is made, that changes everything. now it's
all
like,
right.
well, I said I would do this.
Persona talk out of the way. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us last week for our anniversary show.
But we can't change it yet. We got one more thing to say related to the similar of the topic.
Okay, well, thank you, everybody. And then what do you want to say?
But we'll say it again. We'll still say that.
Thank you. And we love you, and we really appreciate everyone who spent time with us. And I think the episode came out really great.
It did.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah, a lot of music. Are you making the announcement?
Yeah, it was not an announcement, just like a general statement. Which is
we're breaking up. We're breaking up. We're gone.
Unless he beats Persona 4. But like, there's
like in the top left of my eyes, I can see like 4 days remain.
4 days remaining of Rhythm and Pixels. I better finish this dungeon.
I got to send the calling card. I'll come to I'm going to call you up and be like, I'm doing it.
I'm going to beat this dungeon. Like, holy,
oh my god,
that's a bleeper. Anyway,
playing this game is your palace.
That's right.
It's your palace.
That's my palace. But I was going to say, we also have SMT5 chat in the Rhythm and Pixels Discord, Shin Megami Tensei 5 chat. And I want to say congrats to B. Sinky. That's his name in the group. Completed Shin Megami Tensei 5 with a clock of a little over 60 hours. I'm amazed by that because, I'm playing on a harder difficulty, which is my problem. But I feel like I'm nowhere in the game, and I got like 25 hours clocked into it, and then this thing comes up. He's like, "Hey, congratulations! I beat the game, 60 hours." Like, oh my god, how much more do I have to go? I don't know what's happening. But like, yeah, but he was on fire through that thing. He would post in the chat group every once in a while, like, "This is how I've done here. These are the monsters I've been working with."
Yeah, I haven't been following because I haven't been playing. I can't play the game, so it's just been fun, like knowing that there's a whole little support group for you guys.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah, like I'd be content with more games doing that, even if I'm not personally a part of it. I like the idea of like people collectively saying we're playing this game in unison. Like Carlito is trying to get people to play Astalon, which is funny. He's like, "Have you heard of this game?" I'm like, "We brought it up twice on the show." But like, nonetheless, like I'm like, I don't care. Buy it, play it because it's good and you should play it. And then now Cameron's considering, I'm like, just play the freaking game and then you can talk about it. That to me is what gaming is about. Like I could play games alone till the cows come home.
Yeah,
but talking about them with other people is just so much fun.
This gives you it's like your playground. You have your own little playground talk to like hang out.
Like we were talking about the P5, you were like, I get hit by this guy. I'm like, use Tetracar, and you're like, what? I'm like, Tetracar.
Well, first of all, every name in that game doesn't really help me understand. So if you're like, yeah, you got to use Master Rakunda, which
is probably an actual spell.
Oh, of course I have that. What does it do though?
But yeah, like it's just that shared experience where like people are like, you didn't try this strategy, or the alternative, which is like, oh, you did that strategy too? Oh yeah, I did it, but I did this too. And it's just, it adds extra layers of fun to what you're engaging in. That's the sticky wicket to me.
Before I forget. Okay, got all that done, and now for our main presentation. Rhythm and Pixels presents Pirates versus Ninjas.
It's an odd topic that's been sitting on the fire for a little while.
And then next week, Ninjas versus Pirates.
That's right. That is right. So the idea is going to be that, because normally on an episode we'd be just doing the thing where it's like, okay, well this week we're going to pick tracks from this theme and that's that theme.
Games with dinosaurs in them. Ooh, we should do that.
I would like that.
Yeah. So dinosaur games.
I have another theme idea in mind.
This is like 2 themes in one.
We'll have to put this on the docket though. Actually, make sure I write this down before we go. But like, I'll bring it up here. So it's gonna be called like Always Sunny on Rhythm and Pixels.
Okay.
And obviously, this is a two-folder for everybody because it's based on a show that I like, but you don't. So we have to work with it in the way that hits both sides. So for my end, and maybe even both, we'll see how it goes. But it'd be like I would try to come up with tracks related to characters that I feel fit the personalities of the characters on Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
And I live near Philadelphia, so I'll pick songs for Philadelphia.
No. Games with great schemes.
Oh, okay, yeah, I can do that because every episode is like a little
some
scheme.
stupid scheme. And honestly, I feel like with that show,
be fun.
I feel like those characters, even though they're like the main characters, they are more so the antagonists of that show's world. Mm-hmm. So you could be like, this villain's stupid scheme was to do this thing so he can quarter the monopoly on coffee beans in this sphere or whatever. That's
fun.
my track.
Let's do that.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
Whack topics. But for this one, what we're doing is for 1 week, Rob is taking on the role of ninjas, and I'm taking on the role of pirates. And then the next week, it's the opposite, whereas we're seeing, who could do better on the other end of the spectrum. And it's just kind of fun to be like, what is going on? And I feel like, and I'm wondering how Rob's going to fare on this next week, but I'm doing pirates this week, and the first thing I really came to realize is that I don't play a lot of games that involve pirates.
Yeah, right? And I was thinking that too. I'm like, well, there's Skies of Arcadia. There is Sid Meier's Pirates.
Curse of Monkey Island, but I've never played that.
Curse of Monkey Island. Yeah.
There's like a lot of random games. And there's also games where I didn't want to over-dip. Like I could have been like Kingdom Hearts 2.
Higemaru, which was a Capcom arcade game in which you're a boy who lives on a ship. And you have to move barrels, and there's pirates on the ship trying to kill you.
That might be a track you pick next week.
I don't think there's any music in that game. It's old.
So it's going to be interesting. Yeah. But
there is music. It's just like you got to power up, and it goes. It just does that for like an hour. Yeah. Okay, so let us kick things off with the lighter side of Pirates and Ninjas. No, I'm just kidding. The pirate bloopers. All right, so this is Pirates versus Ninjas. Pernell is on the pirate team.
That's correct.
Good, because I picked Ninjas.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I'd be scared when you're like the lighter side of Pirates. Like, where did you choose tracks from?
You came in and I was like, where is Daddy Malk? All right, I guess I'm doing Ninjas. All right, so what you got?
All right, so funny enough, I will go with the lighter side of Ninjas, or for a lighter side of Pirates with this first track, because it's sort of a game that feels light. Yeah. This comes from the game Zack and Wiki, Quest for Barbaros' Treasure. The track is Airship, and this is composed by Shinya Okada and Tadayoshi Makino. Welcome back. You're listening to Airship from the game Zack and Wiki, Quest for Barbaros' Treasure, released on the Nintendo Wii, composed by Shinya Okada and Tadayoshi Makino. So, I felt like this would apply to what I'd consider to be like the lighter side of pirating. I could have gone with like a One Piece video game or something. But I also feel like Zack and Wiki is a good game that doesn't get nearly enough love.
Yeah, tell me about Zack and Wiki. I don't know Zack about Wiki.
So it's a classic puzzle game that was released on the Nintendo Wii. Actually, funny enough, on my birthday back in like 2007.
Huh.
And the premise of the game is that you are a kid named Zack who is like kind of like a shipwright of sorts on like a pirate ship, but his goal is to become a really great pirate. And one day, while hanging out in a scenario of proportions with his friend and companion Wiki, he stumbles across the chest of, I want to say, Barbaros the pirate. Mm-hmm. And inside the chest is like Barbaros' head, like a talking skull. And he's like, hey, by the way, I'll make a deal with you. If you can help me put my body back together, I'll give you the location of like my super secret treasure. So he agrees to it, and Zack and Wiki go on a quest to find Barbaros' treasure by reuniting his body parts. So you go to like a bunch of different like themed islands, and it's like a point-and-click adventure where like you explore these locations and you click on different things that lets you sometimes find items or like switches and things like that, and then you use those things in other locations. Like you might find like extendo grab claw, and you click on that, you go grab it, and now it's like, what do I do with this thing? It's like, okay, I need to grab this thing and pull myself over, or pull this ledge over, so that when this boulder comes rolling down, it gets redirected by the ledge that I just pulled out of the wall or whatever. Okay. And it's a lot of cool like puzzles like that.
Like environmental kind of puzzles.
But
point and click?
A lot. Point and click because it was the Wii.
So
the Wii, you had the Wiimote, so you could like point at the screen, go grab that, and then move it over here. And then sometimes you like actually use the equipment, like say shaking it or pulling the lever with the Wiimote.
Fun.
And stuff like that. So, because this was back when like the Wii was still fairly new, so everybody and their grandma was like, "How can we take advantage of what the Wii brought to the console market?" Which was
this game
stuff.
Yeah, you're right. 2007 North America.
So, because like I ended up buying it when it came out, and you know me, I played it for a bit. This game is awesome, and then I got detoured by something else. I wouldn't mind looking at what other games came out around that time to see what would that detoured game would have been. But ultimately, I still have the game. And I would have even booted it up recently to try it, except I already got sidetracked for a retro boot up, being The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, I saw you that. I posted that at like 2 in the morning, and I was like, look at that.
Yeah, because what happened was like one of my oldest friends, Anthony, I have like a game group that I have, and he just posted in there the other day, was like, this water temple's stupid, Ocarina of Time. I spent like 3 days there, I quit, I'm done. Mm-hmm. And I commented just like, I don't understand why it is that of all the dungeons in all the Zelda games, the Water Temple is the one from Ocarina of Time that has this stigma of being like the worst dungeon in the series. And I see people complain about it all the time. So I'm like, maybe my memory is just bad, because I remember it being 2 other dungeons that gave me problems in that game. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I have my N64. I wonder if I have a save file on that 1998 cartridge that still harkens back to that dungeon. And I booted it up, took it out of the closet.
Those games don't ever stop working.
Apparently, no. Yeah. They have batteries, but it's still got the same charge.
Oh, good.
So, like, I opened it up, turned it on. I had one save file at the end of the game from, you might remember the story when I was like, I came back years later to finally finish the game. Mm-hmm. That save file's still there. But then there's a second save file that puts me in front of the Forest Temple, which is the dungeon before the water. So I was like, since I told people that I had more trouble with the forest than the water, it's fitting that I start here anyway. Like, how hard is the Forest Temple now? And how hard is the Water Temple? And I'll compare the two. I'm like, this is how it is. But funny enough, the first thing that killed me was a 3D game before twin sticks. Because it's really hard now. You're so used to be able to just like reorganize where your position is by moving.
Playing a 3D game before you had 2 joysticks on the controller.
Yes,
is extremely challenging.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
I was like struggling just to fight the basic wolves at the beginning of the dungeon.
It's amazing how, like in these games for the longest time, they were like trying to let's get the camera to work perfectly. So no matter where you were in the game, the camera would be where you need it to be, and it never worked quite right. And then at some point, especially on the PlayStation, they said, "Screw it! The player is in control of the camera forever, and that camera is just with their line of sight."
Yes,
and that's it.
And honestly, I love it. It's funny when you think about it, because back then...
And now we're just so used to doing it.
Yeah, because back when Zelda Ocarina of Time came out, it was revolutionary, and we were accepting of how the camera worked. Like, it was like, this is great! I could do this, and I could press the button and just kind of stand still and look around, which you can still do, of course.
Wait, but can't you use the analog stick with your right hand to be like the camera?
No, the way that the N64 controller was primarily designed, it was like that weird 3-prong setup. The left side was a cross pad, the middle was the thumbstick, the right side was the C buttons, B and A.
Yeah.
So the way it was designed was most games weren't meant for you to hold it and use all of the buttons. It was either this game used the cross pad or this game used the thumbstick. Zelda used the thumbstick. So you hold it by holding the middle of the controller and the right side of the controller.
Oh, you hold the middle of the controller with your left hand.
Yes.
And it was designed only to work that way.
Yes.
Oh, that's right, because I used to play GoldenEye with my friends, and I was the only one who would do the control scheme where the look around was on my right hand. And everything else was on my left hand.
Yep, see, that thing like GoldenEye gave you tons of like control options, which was great for that.
Yeah, and then I remember because shooting, you could just use the trigger on your finger underneath the joystick. And everyone's like, how could you play it that way? I'm like, why would you play it any other way?
And that's another game actually that we booted up last week.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, this game, I can't fathom how to play this anymore. Like I was having trouble. I was walking to the walls and mess. Like, what's going on? I need control of the control.
Definitely a skill that was learned on the job.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you played a game from Capcom. I'm gonna play a game from Capcom.
Uh-oh.
This is from Street Fighter V, the arcade edition. We're gonna listen to the theme of our little ninja girl Ibuki.
Oh, okay. I was like, where are you getting ninjas from this?
Yeah, little Ibuki ninja. All right, so this is Ibuki's theme, composed and arranged by Masahiro Aoki, credited as Godspeed. And we're back. You're listening to the theme of Ibuki from the game Street Fighter V, the arcade edition. The original was composed by, very loosely composed by Hideki Okugawa. I think is calls back to some of the melodies of the original theme of Ibuki from Street Fighter III, which track is called Twilight, composed by Hideki Okugawa.
No, I gotta ask.
But this one is done by Godspeed, who is the alias for Masahiro Aoki. And this track is one of the best in this game.
Now, I gotta ask, though, because I feel like my brain was really jumbled when you chose this officially, which is that I'm assuming, obviously, I know you didn't do this, but I originally thought you'd played Ibuki's track before, but you did the one from Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, didn't you?
Yeah, and that was episode, 2-7. That's the last time we played the Ibuki track. And I played it on Ed's show, the VG Embassy. Because her track is very drum and bass sounding, and so I played it for my drum and bass episode on his show. But no, I never played. I have played a few Street Fighter V tracks that have been some of my favorites, but this is one of my favorites. I love the guitar sound. It does have like a shamisen kind of feel to it. As soon as it started, you went shamisen, shamisen, shamisen.
I hear it.
Ibuki in Street Fighter V is pretty good.
She's one of the later reveals too, right?
Yeah, Arcade Edition was the second big version that was released, and she was like one of those seasons, like season 4 or season 5 characters. Her whole thing was throwing like bombs in the air that could air juggle enemies. It was so hard to time and to get just right, but if you could do it, you could juggle your opponent for like a really long time. So it has been used like in the pro league like a whole lot, but I never got good enough to do anything with her. So I was like, I had fun with her, and then I just kind of put her away.
Like it's like we'll always have third strike.
And something about it really do. But like something about like the main characters like Cammy and Ryu and Ken, like they play very familiar, and there's nothing that's really going to wildly change like the gravity of anything. I'm not waiting for things to fall down at the right time, so I can play them really, really well. But any of these characters, especially the newer ones, like Ibuki and some of the others, I can't bother. I can't get my head around it, and unless I spend my entire time getting good at that one character, and then only playing that one character forever, I can't do it.
That's what's interesting about that kind of stuff too, because like you said, you have I'll call them the safe characters, where you can come in and it's like, okay, it's not about like, physics or anything. It's about how I manipulate the character. But by that same token, when you come across these physics-based characters, to see someone come into a tournament and be like, I'm an Ibuki main. Yeah. It's like juggle. Yeah, you gotta launch, smash.
You get afraid. You get real afraid.
But it's also like impressive to see though. Like you're like, how are you timing all that? What if the guy does like a Roman? This is Guilty Gear language.
Roman cancel.
What if you do a Roman cancel and stops your combo? Are you going to be able to react to that? Like, yes, I can. I practiced that. Now I got Shuriken. I'll throw across the screen.
Yeah, the Shuriken was another one. She can throw the giant Shuriken across the screen, and then it would come back. And depending on the attack, it would come back at different heights. And so you had to manage like when it was going to go, and then time it when it was going to come back, so you can juggle them in the air again.
It's the very epitome of like
so hard.
To me, it's like the epitome of like gamer chess, like the outside of actual chess, because this is real time. This isn't okay. He made a move. Now I have infinite amount of time, short of a clock, to plan this. Now it's like, no, he made a decision that altered my moves. I have a variety of chess moves I can make, but I got to make it right now. Yeah. There is no time to plan. I have to react. And that, to me, is the dance.
That's fighting
that
games.
I love watching in fighting games, despite the fact that I am atrocious at them.
Oh, me too. I mean, I like them a lot. I'm okay with them if I practice, but...
But you're good enough. Like, I'm seeing you in tournaments. You hold your own. I've seen people straight up say, wow, you're really good with Abel. Even if you lose a match, it's like, wow, this guy is good with Abel.
Well, that's the thing. That's another thing. Is like I got really good with the characters no one used. So
that's what makes it impressive.
People didn't like Abel, so no one knew how to defend against him.
But is it possible that maybe no one used Abel because he also wasn't a safe character?
Yeah, no, because he's a grappler. So he's a grappler that's not Zangief.
Yeah.
So he was pretty tough to play with. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So, yeah, it's just fighting games are like chess. It's like speed, rock, paper, scissors. At any given moment, you're thinking about, if I get knocked down, when that person wakes up, he's either going to block, he's either going to jump, he's going to attack, or he's going to do like a special attack that might go through something else. So then you have to decide, am I going to approach him immediately? Am I going to try to throw a meaty attack, which means like put a punch out so that when he gets up, he walks into my hitbox that's already out? Am I going to walk up like I am going to and then block instead? But if I do that, then that means that he's anticipated that, and he can. If I'm just blocking, when he gets up, he might just throw me.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
It's like throughout the course of a match, you're conditioning each other so that you can essentially like, okay, well, I threw him, I threw a fireball, and then I punched him. He's probably waiting for me to throw him again. And so then you walk up, and since he's waiting for you to throw, you can punch him in the face. So it's like, and he's doing that to you too. It's like rock, paper, scissors over and over again. This time, he's going to throw a rock. This time, I know he's going to throw a rock. And then you go and play, and you throw paper, and he's like, no!
This is over. Sign it up. It's over.
And that's why at a lot of fighting game tournaments, you see like really hardcore, like really intense players doing side tournaments of just rock, paper, scissors.
Like literal rock, paper,
just rock, paper, scissors with like a whole lot of money on the line.
It's general anticipation, like, because the same logic, like you said.
It's the same thing. You do it fast, and you're trying to read your opponent, and some people get so good at it, that stuff. That's what it's. But fighting games, it's real time. It's fast. You don't have time to think. You have to practice the game so that all of your execution is on autopilot, so that you can react with the execution without thinking about the execution.
You totally just remind me of Marty Ris's thing. The meme was like, good old Dynamite. Nothing beats that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, who is it? Martyris? Is that?
It's Martyris.
Martyris in our Discord chat comes up with some of the funniest memes now of our show, and I really appreciate that.
I post
really
them on
like
the
it a
main
lot.
Facebook. It's just like, oh, check this weird meme about that.
Every time it comes up, I just start laughing. So I'll stop waxing philosophical on fighting games and why they're the best thing in the world. We're back to pirates. So this is niche. So Ibuki versus Zack and Wiki. Are we doing that? Or are we just saying like?
Well, I mean, I don't think it's so much like 1-to-1. It's like, think of it as the entire boutique. Like, here's 3 tracks you brought in. Here's 3 tracks I bought in. You know, and then of course the BR. And then it's just be like, hey,
it's pirates cross ninjas.
Now pirates versus ninjas. It still works. Like, I like the idea of like the 2 types butting heads in the sense it's like this week Rob brought these tracks to represent this type of this genre or this style, and Pernell brought these, and next week it'll be like, okay, now the opposite, based on the set, who brought the heat and stuff like that.
Yeah. So this Ibuki plays is like the cute anime ninja that shows up and is like, yeah, I'm just a schoolgirl, but I'm also a ninja, but I'm also a schoolgirl.
It's funny too because I had a track for this, but it may well end up being the end of the episode track now, because when you brought this up, I immediately remembered who I wanted to have on the show, but then couldn't, because I played her theme way back on Blue Sky Games.
Ooh.
But then I learned on the fly that she's got a new theme.
That episode didn't count.
No, it counts. It's just I'm going to play the other theme, which is going to be a blinder because I have never heard this song before.
Oh.
There will be a true blind shot, but I wanted to fit it on the show because I think it would be cool to like, hey, here's my fighting game, Pirate Girl.
All right, we'll get into it.
And that is May from Guilty Gear.
Oh, you can't go wrong with that. Come on.
Well, we'll find out because, again, I've never heard this track before. But this is from the game Guilty Gear Strive.
Oh.
And the track is called The Disaster of Passion, and it is composed by the one and only Daisuke Ishiwatari.
Over time, most things fade away. Isn't that right? All of the memories dissolve. The sunshine, the breeze song go by. No matter how big it is, its time will come. It will be reborn as something new. The full moon, bright balloons. Only my feelings will ever grow. And on these wallows, so that's me. Non-stop love song. I will follow you wherever you go. I can't wait to catch up before the sun sleeps. Not if you're short of breath. I'm the disaster of passion. All you need to know, always one or two things or a few. I'm alone, but I'm not alone. You know that, right? Trees and rain, now and then. I can't live without that precious one. On season follow, so that's me. Springtime, Cinderella. I will follow you wherever you go.
Welcome back. You're listening to The Disaster of Passion from the game Guilty Gear Strive, composed by Daisuke Ishiwatari and with vocals by Aisha. So I openly admit it during the tracks playing, because again, I've never heard this until now, that this sounds so unlike a pirate theme. However, this, as Rob pointed out, this very much does sound like a May theme. Like, she's awesome. She is the resident pirate girl of the Guilty Gear series. She is a dolphin riding, anchor flailing bruiser of a juggernaut, and yes, she's tiny and very bubbly and energetic. Fantastic character, and also one of the mains I was playing with when I was doing my days in Guilty Gear. So
your days, the time you did in Guilty Gear.
Guilty Gear Penitentiary. So I played as May, I played as Mai, I played as Ino, Milia Rage, and honestly, I think that was pretty much my base set. I pretty much used those characters because I liked weird characters. Amelia Rage was just the character with the freaking crazy hair, but can't deny a person just like launches dolphins.
Well, you like the female characters too. You like the glass cannons. Generally, the female fighters in these fighting games.
That's right.
Yep.
So I am happy with this track though. Like, it's funny though, because at first I thought, I was like, oh man, I may have made a terrible mistake. But then it hits you. Like, it actually does have a nice poppy vibe going for it.
Yeah, it's a very pop punk vibe. I said this is a very Avril Lavigne skater boy style.
Yes.
But it's cool though. I mean, I like that. I like the chorus. And the chorus gets crazy. Up to the second chorus, the bridge to the second chorus, where she's just like yelling things. I'm like, what are they saying?
I guess this is another form of like the fun side of piracy.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean, it's like she was a pirate, but she just embraced the pirate life, though she's more into guilty gearing.
Guilty gearing. Because honestly, I have no idea to this day what guilty gear actually refers to.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. The gear has to do with, I think, some power that they have. But maybe I'm thinking of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and their stands.
I'll be blunt. You might not be far off from that. It very well may be they have powers that are called gears.
Yeah, each one has a gear, and her gear is a dolphin. Maybe. But also, I like that she rides a dolphin.
Because I want to say, if
awesome.
I'm remembering correctly, because I might be confused with BlazBlue, and if I am, someone can totally correct me, but Potemkin is like a character who I remember being referred to as the character that has no ability. He's just really strong.
Yes, Potemkin is the big grappler strongman from Guilty Gear.
Yes, because now I remember his track is called Burly Heart.
Yes.
There it is.
Yeah. I like Potemkin. He was a really interesting fighter in that game.
He just walked slowly but punched like a truck.
I remember talking about, it was ages ago. I mean, years and years ago when we were at our friend's house and we were playing Ladies and Gentlemen.
Yes.
And I met these guys who were really into fighting games, and they were talking about Guilty Gear, and I said, literally, guys, I have not played Guilty Gear since the very first one. And they're like, what, you mean like Xrd? And I was like, no, on the Sony PlayStation.
The very first one.
I bought it for the Sony PlayStation, and that's what I played.
It was called Guilty Gear, no weird tagline,
yeah,
no
and
subtitles.
No one knew what I was playing because everyone's playing like Mortal Kombat. And they're like, oh, wow, I don't think I've ever played that one. I'm like, well, that's where I stopped. As I have a hard time devoting like time to more than one fighting game, because I feel like if I'm going to play a fighting game, I want to get decent at it, which takes a lot of like dedication.
In truth, I feel like the only real way, which is also again probably why the safe characters work best, and the only reason I feel like you can get good at multiple fighting games are two ways. One, if that's all you ever do, because that's a lot of dedication that's required. Or two, you choose a bunch of characters that cross the franchise that play similarly.
Yeah, like where are my well-rounded guys? And then I'll play the Ryu.
I need all the characters that quarter circle punch.
Yeah, I think it's probably Kai and as I'm sure he's still in that game, and Soul Bad Guy. Soul Bad Guy.
Yeah, I remember him. Terrible name though. All
right, back to the ninjas. How about that? My ninja is from Ninja Masters for the Neo Geo. This track is called The Mist in the Ryuga Caves. This is the theme of Goemon, composed by Hirokai Shimizu, Yuka Watanabe, Takeshi Muramatsu, and Hirokai Kurijai from the game Ninja Masters. Ninja Masters. I don't know where that was coming from. That's the fear. Oh, that's the real fear when you're not recording.
It's like, what did I forget to record throughout the episode?
This is the Mist in Ryuga Caves, the theme of Goemon from the game Ninja Masters for the Neo Geo, composed by Hirokai Shimizu, Yuka Watanabe, Takeshi Muramatsu, and Hirokai Kurijai.
I think it's funny because when you first started going into that, I originally thought you were referring to Goemon from Mystical Ninja Goemon. I was like, wait a minute, Sasuke's the ninja in those games.
That's the only Goemon we know, right?
That's the one I know, yeah. I don't know these other Goemons. Frauds.
So this is one of the few SNK fighting games for the SNK, because they had the World Hero. It's not SNK. It's not SNK, but it's on the Neo Geo, and it's not World Heroes. This is the other one.
That other game.
And it's not King of Fighters. It's this one. And it's got a bunch of cool ninjas. I used to play this one, but I don't have a really clear memory of it. And I get it mixed up with that other ninja, like side-scrolling game on the Neo Geo.
There was another one?
Yeah, man. It was old. I used to play it all the time. I was obsessed with it.
I just want to call it Ninja Strike Force and call it a day.
You know, it might be. Ninja Strike Force.
If it were, I'm
Ninja
like, that's the most
Force
unimaginative.
5. It was called Ninja Combat.
Wow, that's even less imaginative.
You could be
Force.
the red ninja or the blue ninja.
Well, clearly the blue ninja for me.
So this game, so I don't know about this one, but Ninja Combat came out when we were in like the 5th or 6th grade, and I was obsessed with it. And me and my friend Steve, we used to run around the track during recess, pretending we were the ninjas.
Oh my God, we were nerds.
We were so popular.
It's funny, you reminded me of like a meme I came across the other day where they said where the character said we didn't make fun of you in school because you liked anime. We made fun of you because you ran around like a ninja on the playground.
I know, and exactly. Looking at it now, like the artwork is lame. Well, at least the American artwork is, but the game was pretty cool. I liked it. And
I gotta tell you, I can't knock you too much. I did the same sort of stuff my darn self. I was doing Kamehamehas and Kachu-Tenchi Yamaguta-gens on the playground. Or in the lunchroom, for that matter. Like
in the lunchroom.
Yeah, because like the thing with Ranma, he had the chestnuts roasting over fire, so he was like moving his hands so fast that he couldn't get burned by fire. So my brain was like, that seems like a really cool thing to do. So I would like set up bottles. And like, see if I can grab all the bottles off the shelf without knocking the other ones over by grabbing at them quickly. So I'm like, it was always just funny to try. Clearly impossible because it's a bloody cartoon.
It's a cartoon, yeah.
But I wanted to believe you could move so fast.
Yeah. But I played the heck out of these ninjas on the Neo Geo games because they're out of all the games in the arcade, these were always guaranteed to be just a quarter. Mm-hmm. Because these machines were so much easier for the arcades to maintain. They would buy the machine. They would just get the boards real cheap, or they'd buy them like secondhand or a bootleg real cheap.
No, these weren't MVSs, so they weren't swapping carts on these?
No, the Ninja Combat was definitely an MVS because they could swap between games.
Oh, okay.
Unless you could swap between games on the CD systems as well, right?
Well, I'm not sure. Like I only know about AVS and MVS, and the MVS being like the cart with the thing with like 4 carts in there, so you can pop those in and out.
Yeah.
But then I figured that the arcade version, like the other board, would just be like, here's an arcade board, not a cart.
Yeah, it might be the boards. I don't really know for sure, but I remember playing it a lot. It was like because it was always Ninja Combat, some like the Super Spy, World Heroes, and then like something else. Like,
yeah, if it was 4-on-1 machine, it was definitely cart swapping. It was an MVS machine.
It was MVS machines.
But I always thought those were really awesome.
Oh, and Sengoku. Sengoku was awesome. But because there was a recorder, I'd play all of these games all the time.
And also back then, this was when that was like the epitome of beat 'em up style too, because like home consoles couldn't keep up with what those games looked and played like.
Yeah, they couldn't. Like the Super Nintendo got real close, but
Super Nintendo had like weird caveats. Like you think of Final Fight and how they couldn't handle having 2 players at once on Final Fight. So
I swear, man, that was like they talked to Blockbuster ahead of time and said, "Look, we're not going to put Guy in the game. The one character everybody loves, but." We'll make a special edition only for Blockbuster called Final Fight Guy.
That was ridiculous. But people bought it.
What I heard was that in Japan, the main character was Guy, the cool like ninja man.
Really?
But in America, they made the main character Cody, right?
Cody was the short, punchy guy. Yeah, and Hagar was the mayor.
The American, and that would be Cody. So it was like they kind of focused on the different characters being like the front person of the games, which is why in the North American release of Final Fight, they were like, instead of guy. Let's make it Cody.
I didn't realize that, but I could see them doing that.
And then I thought, like, when they first came out, I was pretty young too. I was like, well, you know what? There's only 2 controllers, so I guess you can only have 2 characters.
But then they were like, but there's only a 1-player game. And you're like, well, what the heck? None of this makes sense.
That's right. It was 1 player.
It was the stupidest thing, and I always assumed maybe someone in the industry or not industry, but just knows better can say otherwise. But I always assumed that at the time was because with the way they were doing the carts, they couldn't handle having 2-player input in Final Fight.
I don't know, because Ninja Turtles on the NES, Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade version, I think it was actually called the arcade game on the NES, was 2-player. Because you wouldn't play it otherwise.
Oh yeah, but different graphics, like different output requirements too. Like you talk about Turtles, the arcade game on the NES versus Final Fight on the SNES as a launch cart.
I will say this: yes, different graphics requirements, much greater and very similar like gameplay requirements. It's the same thing. You're just smacking buttons, knocking down dudes. Probably more because in Final Fight you can't grab people.
That is true. Wait, no, you can grab people in Final Fight. You can't grab them in Turtles.
You like pick them up and throw them. I'm thinking of Turtles in Time.
Turtles in Time, you can grab them and throw them at the screen.
Yeah, the Manhattan Project, whatever it was called.
No, that was Turtles in Time. Manhattan Project was the Genesis attempt. No, Genesis was Hyperstone Heist.
Yes.
What? Manhattan Project was 3 on the NES.
On the NES, okay. But it was in the style of, because they never went back to do the original like side-scrolly Ninja Turtles. Someone needs to make a version of that again.
Yeah, they didn't do like those like that weird like Ultra Games version style anymore. It was always the beat 'em ups.
Yeah, I don't think Konami made that one, but it was definitely published under quote unquote Konami. Ultra. Okay, so we're on to your 3rd track. So this is your next pirate.
And I feel bad because again,
pirate it up.
Reinhardt Zelkova is going to hate me because again, this track is going to the end of the episode. It's got to get in here.
Shake that booty.
But stop it. But this track just sounds too good to not include in the episode, and I was shocked we've never played it before.
Oh.
And it's a loosely tie-in because the theme of the game. But this comes from the game Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. And the track is titled "Rave in the Grave," and it is composed by Virt. I think this was maybe his second to last Shantae game that he composed for. I don't remember. But anyway, this is a banger. I hope you like it. Welcome back. You're listening to Rave in the Grave from the game Shantae and the Pirate's Curse, released on a crap ton of systems, and composed by fantastic composer Virt, Jake Kaufman. So you're probably thinking, well, why in the world is this on this show regarding pirates?
Why in the world is it on the show about pirates?
Excellent choice.
You are my very good friend now.
So The idea of Shantae and the Pirate's Curse from the premise of gameplay, or narrative rather, is that in the previous game, Shantae is no longer a genie because she basically loses her genie powers to save, Sequin Land. So over the course of this game, or early on in the game, she ends up forming a kind of teams up with Risky Boots, who's the series pirate and her rival.
Risky Boots.
Risky Boots.
Risky Boots.
I always thought that was a hilarious name. They team up to travel along the country or the world to retrieve a bunch of cool pirate equipment to stop the Dark Master, or rather the Pirate Master, from destroying the world, essentially. So they work together in a line. So as you play through the game, you get equipment that is essentially pirate gear that allows you to do different things. Like you get like a pirate cannon or pirate gun. You get a pirate's head that lets you kind of glide across the map. A pirate's cutlass so you can do like a dash attack. And it's a lot of fun to just kind of mess around because in the previous game, previous games, there was 2 before this, you got so used to the idea of like Shantae had magic powers, she could transform into animals and use fire and the pike balls and all that. But in this game, it's like, well, you don't have magic anymore, but you have this cool sword and this cool hat, And I always like the idea that they switched to the idea of like going to themed islands instead of one interconnected map. So this was like the zombie island. It was like, a bunch of zombie undead enemies.
That is the where this music takes place. Zombie Island.
Mm-hmm.
This is great music for that too. It is kind of that spooky, like Halloween, like fun Halloween kind of music.
Castlevania Dance-a-thon.
I really like that what Virt does before the loop, before it just starts up. It's like a quick little bridge. It's like a tiny little like drum roll, but like it's just a quick little bit that kind of extends it longer than the normal 4/4 signature. It's really neat. I'll try to point it out again. It's going to be a few minutes.
Oh, dope. And it's one thing I started to realize as I'm doing some of these episodes. I got to start checking myself before I wreck myself, as they say in the lexicon. Is that I feel like maybe it's because I'm getting older or tired, but like I will start speaking, but I actually can't keep up with my own words sometimes. I'm like,
and that's what podcasts are for now.
That is true.
You just keep talking. I'll keep rolling.
Well, I guess in my defense, maybe that's also just a quirk. Maybe that's an acceptable quirk. Like, that's how I talk. That's how I present myself. As long as the idea comes across, that's just added charm, added chocolate.
It's like Lucky Charms, chocolate.
Great. Hey, I didn't do it there. That was intentional.
Where's my Lucky Charms?
Frosted ones, even. Speaking of candy, I got to mention on the show proper because I mentioned it on my Facebook.
Oh, hold on, my part's coming up.
It's here?
Yeah, hold on, it's coming up. So like, yeah. So there's the bridge to the loop, and there's like this drum roll that happens right here, like that part. It only happens at one time. It's after like 2 loops of it. It goes. It's fun. I like it.
Virt is a genius.
All right, we're talking about candy.
Yes. So I was at a gathering yesterday, and I learned from someone in like a passing conversation of a new type of Reese cup.
Oh yeah,
that is filled with potato chips.
I want this.
It's like it sounds like a blasphemy snack. It's blasphemous snacking, and yet at the same time, I want to eat it.
Sounds perfect.
No, because on one hand, yes, I do get sometimes you can buy chocolate dipped potato chips. They do exist.
Yeah,
and people do chocolate and peanut butter together. So you would figure, I guess, as a whole, it makes sense. But the thought of just potato chip crumblets inside of a Reese cup.
Have you had potato chip ice cream?
Wrong. No.
Oh, it's incredible.
That doesn't sound like that should go together either.
Salty and sweet.
But they're potato chips.
Have you dipped?
It's texture, man.
Yeah, the texture is perfect.
Ah, they're like soggy frozen chips.
No. If you could keep them crunchy.
They keep them crunchy.
You can keep them crunchy.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. It can be done. We
have the technology.
There's a vegetarian restaurant in Philadelphia called Veg, VEDGEE. Mm-hmm. 1 E. I'm sorry. and I had that there. It was amazing. It was probably one of the best dining experiences I've had in Philly.
So it was chocolate ice cream with potato chips?
It was like a vanilla salted caramel situation, but the salty part of the caramel was potato chip, like kind of crumbles and flakes, and it was still crunchy in the ice cream.
Weird.
It's insanely good.
Well, now
you jumped ahead and are imagining like this like soggy mess inside your ice cream, but it's not like that. It's not like that.
Well, I'm on the hunt to find the things, and I'll know firsthand then. I found the peanut brittle Reese cups, but I haven't found the potato chip one yet.
Peanut brittle sounds really good.
Oh, peanut butter ones are delicious. They're 210 calories a cup, though. They stay in the freezer half the friggin' time.
Okay, I'll eat that before I go to the gym. Actually, what I do now is, because I don't really drink caffeine like that, except for like first thing in the morning, is I'll eat dates. I'll eat 2 dates before I do anything. And
How does that work?
It's good.
It actually does the job?
Yeah, I mean, it's because they're like little bombs of sugar. Dates have so much sugar in them.
Maybe I should try that too.
But I do that instead of like energy drinks now. And I think because like now I'm used to getting energy from my food, that I feel the hit of it stronger.
And it's healthier, I'm sure.
Yeah, so when I eat like a granola bar or something, I don't see it as filling me up. I see it as just getting me a little bit more energy.
It's powering you.
Yeah, a little bit more power. But when I was drinking energy drinks like crazy, I never felt that. Because unless I was feeling like the crazy jolt of something, it didn't matter.
So I'm going to Target after this episode, so maybe I will buy some dates and try your method too.
If anything, they're delicious. Just I wouldn't eat more than 2 or 3 at a time because that's like a lot of calories. Anyway, they're heavy on the calories. So that's why they came up in my mind. Also, it takes a lot longer for it to get through your system. So don't just take it and then go work out. You need to take it, wait an hour or 2, and then go work out.
So I'll be popping it before at work still.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'll eat it in the morning. Anyway, that's my regimen. And everyone eat dates. They're full of fiber. Fantastic for your morning. All right, so I'm going to let my last track. You got to go with the Ninja Warriors. The Ninja Warriors again.
Yeah, we had a whole dialogue about this, so that would be funny to bring up.
How many Ninja Warriors does it take to fit in a SNES track? There's actually 3 Ninja Warriors. They're all robots, and they're all assassins, and they're good part of this morning, your breakfast in the morning.
Oh, you monster!
It's been a long day.
You did that intentionally.
I did not do that intentionally.
Oh, dope.
But yeah, and I still have to build some IKEA furniture later. So the Ninja Warriors, a very well-known Taito Zuntada soundtrack. Composer is Hiroyuki Iwatsuki on this track.
This is not Daddy Mulk.
No, I think we've listened to Daddy Mulk already. That's a pretty good track. This is Stage 1 Headquarters. This is from the Super Nintendo version of the Ninja Warriors, also known as the Ninja Warriors Again. The Ninja Warriors next week. The Ninja Warriors, they're showing up.
Eventually.
The Ninja Warriors, where's the rest of the milk? The Ninja Warriors not replacing the toilet paper.
That's going to be a show. That could be a toilet.
It's the Ninja Warriors. This is Stage 1 Headquarters, composed by Hiroyuki Iwatsuki. And we're back. You're listening to Stage 1, The Headquarters, from the game The Ninja Warriors for the system, the Super Nintendo, composed by Hiroyuki Iwatsuki. Ooh, man, this whole soundtrack is just funk. It's funkified. You got that bass, that slap bass is all over.
Oh, it's a great track. But like that weird segment we did before leading into the song, once we stopped, I started thinking like we were joking. We talked about earlier how we'll eventually have an Always Sunny episode, and it got me thinking like this. The Ninja Warriors would totally fit in with that concept of how Always Sunny names his episodes. Like, the Ninja Warriors solve the climate crisis. The Ninja Warriors get armaments. The Ninja Warriors open a bakery.
That's the game. Like, the game is like there's an evil entity overthrowing the government. They've tried everything they could. So the last-ditch effort, they got to throw in the robotic ninjas, the Ninja Warriors, right? So, like, we've tried everything to solve the climate crisis. It's time for the Ninja Warriors.
Get the Ninja Warriors in there. We've tried everything to get these pieces baked in time for the big pizza party. We got to get the Ninja Warriors in there. The Ninja Warriors bake pizza for the big pizza party.
Oh, man. Beth just won't come through on this bake sale. She won't do the Rice Krispie treats. Send in the Ninja Warriors.
The Ninja Warriors conclude a bake sale.
I love it.
I would do it. See, that's a show. I would be interested in watching the Ninja Warriors do all of these things.
Can I have a Rice Krispie treat?
Only one per customer.
Like, every time like they do something, you get an orchestra hit. Ding, ding.
I would play it. Oh my God! I want to do it now. Someone has to do it. The Ninja Warriors start a podcast. Bam.
The Ninja Warriors podcast. Every episode. So Ninja Warriors. Ultimate Ninja Warriors. The I don't know, something about these ninja games and orchestra hits. All about it. All about. It's probably just also like when these games were released, there's a lot of orchestra hits in them. This has got kind of a funky reversed orchestra hit. But definitely the last one I played, the Ninja Masters. Up for the Ninja. That was orchestra hit. Every freaking quarter note. Just bang, bang, bang.
And officially now after this episode is over, I'm going to put Ninja Warriors for the Switch on my wish list because now I want to play these games. I've heard so much about them, and I'm almost positive. I'm sure I've played one of them in the arcade, but the memory's not strong enough to maintain it. So this is going up there with the Wild Guns for me, like classics that I need to revisit now.
Yeah, I don't think I played this one in the arcade ever, because I don't know if it was ever released in the arcade on standard TVs, on the standard CRTs, because it was on those long, super long like R-Type CRT things, right?
The one with the three screen?
The 3 screens and the mirrors. So I don't think I played this in the arcade, but I definitely played the SNES version, because there was like a summer where me and my friends, Steve again, we would run around pretending we were ninjas. We just played beat-em-ups on the Super Nintendo. What was Blast? Was it Blast Man? No.
Sonic Blast Man?
Sonic Blast Man, Sonic Blast Man 2.
I mean, that was a rite of passage as a teenager gamer was co-op beat-em-ups.
Yeah.
Something that I don't know if that's the case now. I feel like nowadays that same style would just be online multiplayer shooters or something. But
I think it means so much to me because it was the last summer before he got into RPGs, and then once he got into RPGs, he was lost.
Also, I mean that's your life. 40 hours a game of narrative.
What are we doing? I'm playing
optimization.
Final Fantasy and Chrono Trigger. You want to hang out? Like, just watch you play Final Fantasy.
I can't co-op with that. No, correction. Actually, in Final Fantasy, you could co-op.
Final Fantasy 6. Yeah, you could do that. Yeah.
2-player Final Fantasy game. I think that's the only one that existed too. I can't think of any other it would just traditional Final Fantasy that had 2-player mode.
All right, here comes the other character, and you just choose an item or fight.
But that's still the game. That's literally it.
That's the game anyway.
Yeah. What if you think that Saban should do the bum rush, but the other player thinks he should do Aura Beam?
Every JRPG is actually 2-player. If you hold the left side and I hold the right side.
No, that's one of those wacky dating games or cookies and cream.
You just gotta get in close. You just gotta. Yes,
that would be pretty bland too. Okay, your job is to scroll through the menu, and your job is to confirm.
The Ninja Warriors beat Final Fantasy VI.
Hey, I'd watch that. I'd absolutely watch that.
All right, so I'm gonna turn this track down because guess what? The Ninja Warriors are going to the bonus round.
The Ninja Warriors enter the bonus round. That's what I'm doing.
The bonus round is where we play covers and remixes and arrangements on our theme. And our theme this week is Pirates versus Ninjas.
Mm-hmm.
So what we got?
Purnell
for the Ninja round.
So initially I was looking for a track from this game involving hurdy-gurdies because in Sea of Thieves you can, in fact, have a hurdy-gurdy session with your fellow pirates. But unfortunately I didn't come across that per se. But in the journey, I did come across a cool metal remix from Sea of Thieves.
Oh.
From someone I hadn't heard of up until now. So this is, let me see, Grogg Mayles. Metal remix from the game Sea of Thieves on the Xbox One. And this is composed by Axriel. Welcome back. You were just listening to Grogg Mayles' metal remix from the game Sea of Thieves on the Xbox One, done and covered by Axriel. It's a good track, short yet sweet, and like I said, it may not be hurdy-gurdy, but I do feel like it still carries that feeling of like, the with the pirates, life for me, but we got heavy guitars, you see, gotta play them hard as fast as we can while drinking caffeinated drinks, and that's the track. Though, funny enough, like I got remembering of like an old Muppet Babies episode where like they actually did a pirate-themed episode, and Gonzo comes like, he goes, yo ho ho, and a bottle of milk. And as a kid, I remember hearing that and still being like, this is really ridiculous. Because even as a child, I know that pirates drink alcohol, but I guess babies can't. Oh well,
something in mead, but. Yeah, because when this started playing, you're like, yo, ho, ho, and a bottle of milk. But you kind of said it under your breath. And so I'm like...
You're like, what?
Is that what I heard?
Like, that's exactly what you heard. Because I've been carrying that with me for my entire life, almost. Because Muppet Babies was like the late 80s.
You've been holding on to it like a traumatic memory. You finally let it go.
Oh, no, it's not traumatic. I say it all the time. If anything comes up regarding pirates or just like hanging out, I'm like, yo, ho, ho, and a bottle of milk.
All right, I'm going a different direction here, obviously, with the ninjas. Right, this is a track called The Amazing Ryu. This is from the game Ninja Gaiden. Ninja Gaiden.
Not Ninja Gaiden?
Ninja Gaiden.
No Gaiden.
The side story, Ninja Gaiden. The Ninja Gaiden. But anyway, the track is called Amazing Ryu. This is a jazz arrangement of level 4-4 from Ninja Gaiden, composed and arranged by Paul Kester. I'm sorry, not composed by Paul Kester, but this is arranged and performed by Paul Kester. Back. That was The Amazing Ryu, a jazz arrangement of 4-2 from the game Ninja Gaiden for the NES version, also called Unbreakable Determination, composed by Keiji Yamagishi and arranged and performed by the amazing Paul Kester.
That was a fantastic track. And I thought it was funny that Ninja themes are usually very fast-paced and like energetic, and this remix is more like relaxed and subdued.
Yeah.
And pirate themes are generally more, in my opinion at least, they're more relaxed in that sense. And my remix was very heavy. Nice.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, the ninjas are kind of on the edge. They're living in the shadows, and they're going to murder somebody. And the pirates are like, we're getting drunk, going to murder somebody.
But after a long and relaxing and interesting adventure on the high seas.
Yeah, exactly.
And treasure. Big treasure.
Big treasure, big treasure, big treasure.
Whammy stop.
Big treasure. And Ninja Warriors and then big treasure. For more information on the bonus round part of our show, go to rhythmandpixels.com, and we'll have links to all of these artists' Bandcamps, SoundClouds, anywhere where you can buy the music, support these artists. Thank you for joining us on episode 30-7 of Rhythm and Pixels. This is Pirates versus Ninjas.
Hi-yo.
This is a very piratey track, yeah.
So it's kind of funny that, again, this takes me back to like that want and desire. I swear, I've been thinking about this more and more lately as I get older. Like, I have this desire to go back and play this game again because I haven't done it in forever, and story bits are so hazy to me. But this comes from the game Xenogears. Leftovers of the Dreams of the Strong, composed by Yasunori Mitsuda, and it is pretty much the theme of the pirate hideout of basically playable character and leader of pirate troop Bartholomew Fatima. So he was a cool character in the game, for I remember. I remember he had like a whip type weapon or something. But it was just a great game. I like the theme of this area. I like his butler constantly tossing out cups of tea to serve. Those are things I mainly remember. But it's so hazy. It's been so long. I remember he had like a girl that would chase him around the globe too. She also piloted a gear, funny enough. But I just have these hazy memories of this game, and I always find myself thinking, I should go back. But then I also find myself hoping and wishing that Square would just redo the blasted game.
Oh, they got
and do it right.
They got so many games people want them to redo. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to know what they're going to do.
Well, if they just stop doing Final Fantasy over and over, we'd be good. You
can't stop this train. You got to suplex that train.
Stop the Yggdrasil. They stopped the Yggdrasil.
It's the Ninja Warriors and the Final Fantasy remake.
I would play that.
Yeah, in the Final Fantasy remake. You said something that brought something to mind, and it will come back to me later because that's just where I'm at right now.
Rob's had a really hectic weekend.
Yeah, it's been pretty busy. It's been good. It's been really busy. So I would like to tell you, our listeners, if you'd like to get in contact with us, the podcasters, if you have a track suggestion or a topic suggestion, or you just want to say hello, or you want to say, hey, we're doing bad, you rapping bad.
But also, if you're rapping cool,
you can do your rapping cool. You can send us an email,
rhythmandpixels@hotmail.com.
And for a full track listing of this episode, all of our episodes, and access to all of our episodes, go to the website,
rhythmandpixels.com.
And you can check us out on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. It's Rhythm and Pixels, all one word, and that's just like updates on the show and when it's coming out, and usually like updates on our live streamed episodes as well. You can go to youtube.com/rhythmandpixels, where we have a 24/7 radio stream of 8-bit and 16-bit classics. And you can support us by going to Patreon, patreon.com/rhythmandpixels. And as a member there, you get access to monthly live streams. You get access to prequel episodes. You get access to some cool merchandise like t-shirts, mugs, and stickers at all these different levels. And at the highest levels of every show, we like to thank all of those Patreons by name. But we like to first thank a new Patreon member, Matt Beck. Thank you for becoming a sponsor.
Welcome aboard.
And now we'd like to thank Ulf Person, Frankly Zappa, Mike Myers, Kristen, Vashin8060, Steve Miller. We got Alex the Messenger, from A VGM Journey, which is a great VGM podcast. I think they've just hit a milestone, haven't they?
From full anniversary.
Yeah, an anniversary show, right?
Yes, and he's doing, when the episode eventually comes out, he's doing a Christmas special, which I'm actually taking part in.
Oh,
so it should be
nice.
interesting.
That should be fun. You should check that out. So A VGM Journey. You can find that on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all places where fine podcasts are served. We'd like to thank Andres Mielberg, Brian Pitt, Cameron Werma, Carlos Kung Fu Carlito from the Heroes 3 podcast, Chris Weisner, a.k.a. Musashi219, a.k.a. The Wise Guy. Well, we just call him that. Christopher, no one else calls him that. Christopher Shenstrom, Davey Cakes, David Taylor, Harold Howard, Justin Schneider from XVGM Radio, another fine VGM podcast. Michael Bridgewater from the Forever Sound Version podcast, and also as Meebry64 from, I think it's called the Atlantis Demo Scene Group. He actually just kind of emceed a weekend-long Twitch demo scene event. Ooh. Where there were demo parties and there were people talking about breaking apart the Commodore 64. It was what and how to hack it and how to maintain them, and
very detailed.
It was very, very cool, and I know that's something he's really
passionate
about, super passionate about. Thank you.
I know how it goes. I've been there.
You know where I'm at. Michael Jennings, Rage Cage, Reinhard Zelkova, Sleepy S'more, Taco, the Autistic Gamer 89, Ed Wilson from the VG Embassy podcast, another fine podcast, which I think we're both going to be doing shows on in the near future.
Yep.
And Camille.
It's Camille.
And it's Camille. So thank you all very much for your continued support of our show. It means a lot to us. It means that we can keep producing episodes. It means that we're motivated to do more episodes. It means that we can also produce more merchandise and silly stuff for you to wear and put on your body and take it outside.
And also allows
Ninja
us to
Warriors,
get episodes up
put it
for
on your
people
body.
to get up, and it allows people to check out old episodes too, because hosting.
Oh, file hosting?
Yeah.
It's expensive. When you have this many episodes, it's a lot. Next week, it's the big 300.
300 episodes. That's 299 more than we thought we were going to do.
I know. It's so many that I completely forgot what episode number we were on.
We were going to originally do Pirates versus Ninjas next week with the follow-up of this, and it's nope, not anymore.
Well, you know what did it? It was the anniversary show. It is numbered. In the past, I've numbered them. So I thought I had another week. So anyway, we got some special stuff planned there, and then we have a board game episode planned after PAX Unplugged concludes in Philadelphia, and then we have a live streamed episode, and then the ninjas take on the pirates again. So we're getting back there. So thank you everybody for listening to the show. Thank you everyone for supporting the show, and I can't wait until next week's podcast. So we'll see you then. My name is Rob Nichols,
and I'm Pernell.
Have a good time. Have a great time.
Grab a nap.
You too.
Grab a nap. And remember, as we go into the holidays here, 'tis the season and all that. Don't forget that even though it is really nice and fantastic to go out and grab cool deals for yourself, and also finding cool deals and merch for your friends and family. Remember, there's also still people out there who could totally use your support by way of charity donations and the like. And I also get that some people might not be too comfortable with the idea of, dropping coins in the bell jar or whatnot, outside for Salvation Army or whatever, whether it's politics or whatever. But with that comes into play, don't let that be the reason that you don't help anyone in any capacity. There's other outlets you have available to you to donate money to good charities and supports for people who can have good holiday seasons or beyond. Food, shelter, clean water, and then on and so forth. And it makes me think next week's episode, maybe I can come up with a list of these entities too, so you can have an actual list of them.
I like that, yeah.
But yes, be in remembrance of those who do not have. It's not just about what we do have. Some people aren't that lucky, so I'll stop rambling. Grab a nap. That's the other part.
You got it. Way ahead of you.